Hey, Bourbon family, Whiskey Phoenix here. I want to tell you about a pretty cool event I got to participate in on Tuesday night with the Whiskey Weather community. Brandon invited his Patreon members in the Whiskey Weather community to take part in a virtual Redwood Empire tasting. We were all sent a Teams link meeting, and the master distiller, Jeff Duckhorn, was there. So that was pretty cool. And I learned a lot of things that I didn't know about Redwood Empire, like they first started out as a winery. They actually started distilling bourbon in 2015. I didn't realize that Redwood Empire is actually a real place along the West Coast. It stretches all the way from San Francisco all the way up to the Oregon border. The other cool thing to learn was that the 5 samples that we were tasting, 4 of them, they're actually all named after actual like trees that grow in California. The fact that where their distillery is located now in Vallejo, it was built in the 1800s. So just a lot of really cool stuff to learn along the way. And something else I felt interesting, because I've only had one expression of Redwood Empire, and that was their pipe dreams, and that was part of the tasting as well on Tuesday, is that I didn't realize that they didn't use their own distillate. Now, they have 24,000 barrels aging right now, but the really cool part about that is 12,000 of those barrels is actually Redwood Empire's own distillate now. So what we got to try during this virtual tasting, this hanging out with a master distiller, was their Pipe Dream, their Lost Monarch, Emerald Giant, Grizzly Beast, and Rocket Top. Now, 4 out of the 5 were all ryes, which, that made me really happy. Actually, fam, I stand corrected. 3 out of the 5 were ryes. The Pipe Dream was not a rye, and then we got to try the Grizzly Beast, which was a bottle and bond. I'm not going to go into a lot of the tasting notes or anything like that. The one that came out on top for me was Emerald Giant. It was a rye. Second place was Lost Monarch. Third was Rocket Top. That was a rye bottle and bond. Fourth was Grizzly Beast, and then coming in last was a Pipe Dream. Now, what was interesting is I went back and I did a blind tasting using my solo blind, because I just kind of wanted to double check myself with that. And there was, some tasting notes going along the way as well, which, I think people, can get influenced by that. I know I've let it happen to myself a few times, just to be honest about it. So what ended up happening was Emerald Giant actually came in number 2 when I did the blind, and it was 1. My second Lost Monarch actually came in 3rd. My Rocket Top, that was 3, came in 4th. And as actually the Grizzly Beast, just their batch 5 bottle and bond, came in number 1 in my blind when I did the solo blind. And Pipe Dream just held on to that last place. I enjoy Pipe Dream. It was the only bottle of Redwood Empire that I've owned to date. But fam, you can be sure that I'm going to be on the lookout from now on. So there you have it. Just wanted to share a really cool experience that I got to have on a Tuesday evening. So fam, if you are partaking on this Thirsty Thursday, as always, drink responsibly, and remember, stay sharp, stay burning, rise again, and I will see you in the next one.